Welcome back to a Crude project, everybody. I'm here with Ant and Kevin the 2 Cent, and as always, we have a great episode for you guys. We have the What's That episode that we mentioned in the previous episode. Gonna be talking about Nikola Tesla and some of the things that he invented, and then maybe some archaeological finds as well. So we'll dig into that a little bit and talk about it. But before that, you smell that?
Dark bark.
Oceanwood motion. Exotic executive.
Smells like success. Do you want a scent that'll hide your farts? Dark bark.
Do you want a scent that smells like a vacation you can't afford? Oceanwood motion.
Do you want a candle that'll hide the scent of your mistress? Exotic executive.
We told you we would do it. We've partnered with IllumineScents. We've created our own scents. Skip the FOMO. Buy our candles. We'll drop the link for you guys down below to check them out. Stay tuned. If you guys got any value from the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. And let's dive, buddy. So we were talking about it earlier, right? Because you were mentioning the, what was it, that civilization? The Tartaria?
Yeah, Tatarians. The Tatarian civilization that was supposed to span from all the way over to, like, they even went as far as over the ocean into Japan, Russia, China, Middle East, Turkey, top of India.
Yeah.
Huge, massive civilization that evidently came to a lot of findings, like
Really old, massive, like advanced structures.
yeah, the structures and advancements of like technology
Yeah.
that should have never been, that are like predating things that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're told, correct. And they were said to have buildings, like as you see in the Kremlin, those domed looking buildings that the actual buildings had a purpose. The way it was domed and the reason of the very pointy end of it was to collect energy from the atmosphere, as they called atmospheric ethereal energy.
Atmospheric etherical energy. Yeah.
Yes. The ether, which then we came to find out was equated to dark matter.
Right. And then that's where I was like, hold on. Well, I know someone who was digging into that stuff, and that turned out to be Nikola Tesla. So he was one of the people that looked into dark matter, and he was like doing a lot of research on it. And some of the findings was pretty like revolutionary. But they from that, and what derived was the other thing that he came to invent or find was the 0 point energy, right?
Yeah, the free energy.
Yeah, free energy, 0 point energy, whatever you want to call it. And that would have like completely revolutionized every like day-to-day lives of just every American or every person on the planet Earth, basically.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would. So when I saw this, I was like, yo, what the hell? And one of the people that mentioned this free energy or 0 point energy was a while back, and I read, I was watching this podcast, and it was Stephen Greer on Sean Ryan's show. This guy, Stephen Greer. Now, I have my skepticism about him.
Mm-hmm.
But this was one thing that he mentioned that I looked into it for myself too, and I found out that Nikola Tesla was working on this technology. And then I know we were talking about how what this would have done to everyday Americans, and how it would have like revolutionized like electricity and everything. Dude, imagine we didn't have to pay for electricity.
Yeah, free power. It would change a lot. Honestly, in the scope of how things are. Obviously, we have to be on a grid system. There has to be control. They have to be able to turn off your power.
Mm-hmm.
In the thought of having free wire, because that's how it would work.
Yeah.
Just for an understanding purposes, for everyone understands, Nikola Tesla made the Tesla coil, named it after himself, his invention. And this coil this giant tower was able to take atmospheric energy, the same as the Tartarians were said, and send it across without anything, wirelessly. So think of Wi-Fi. It's like Wi-Fi energy. And then it could then power something in a different area. And this eventually became, across a room to hundreds of feet to then miles.
Like imagine this, like for example, you're in the state of, let's just say East Coast. You're in the state of, like, say, New York, right?
Yeah.
New York. You're in Manhattan, New York City, and you got on top of the building of Empire State Building, right? You got this machine going on, right? And it's emitting this energy, this Wi-Fi energy. And then from there, from Empire State Building, New York City, you got lights turning on as a result of this Wi-Fi energy that's being pushed out all the way to, say, Kansas. Or, maybe, I don't know, Indiana, Ohio, whatever, you know? Like hundreds of miles.
I'm unsure on, like, how wide, like, its range or its power. I'm sure as it went on, it probably lost its ability and lights would become more dim.
Sure.
But
imagine
his plan was to build them in various states. Like, we have substation now.
Yep.
Imagine if you eliminated the substations and you just added Tesla coils.
Right.
And
you just had these one towers.
Yeah.
Per
some
like
of these
some
towers,
square mileage apart from each other.
Right.
And they're just
the
emitted.
power is always strong. That way you have good strong power, and it's just from the atmosphere. So this obviously was a big issue because at this time you had Thomas Edison coming up, which everyone remembers him.
But before that, imagine, because these cell towers and stuff that we have, right, for our cell phones and Wi-Fi and all this stuff. And you know how like EMF causes harm to people?
Yeah.
But this was atmospheric in energy. This wouldn't have had any like negative impact or harmful impact to people as well. So like there's no major side effects, honestly, or if any.
I mean, eventually you could, like, so if you probably mishandled a Tesla coil, I'm pretty sure you could.
But I'm talking about
like licking an electric socket, right? Like it's probably the same method. But yeah, so this was a problem because we all remember Thomas Edison. We were taught in school, Thomas Edison discovered electricity through the light bulb, which we now know was...
No, Ben Franklin.
Well, Ben Franklin figured out that they could harness power, but I think Thomas Edison was given...
He's just a light bulb guy.
He's just a light bulb? He wasn't...
He did the light bulb. So Thomas Edison was credited with...
The light bulb,
with the light bulb.
I thought he was credited with some form of like electricity.
Benjamin Franklin was electricity.
Yeah, with the kite and the key and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Benjamin Franklin.
Come on now, is that right? Come on now. Think about this. This dude harnessed lightning with a key and a kite.
So
when we're kids, we hear that, we're like, "Dang, that's wild!" And when I hear that now, I'm like, "You would have died." Didn't happen that way. Sorry. Not possible.
Let me get things for that didn't happen.
But what Nikola Tesla was doing was his inventions were so that's why like one of the titles in his name or whatever is like futurist. Like the reason this dude was working on technology that would have literally revolutionized civilization advancement to like, I don't know, no points end almost, to be honest. Like, because that was what the other thing that he was working on and he did discover was, I think, Nikola Tesla was basically one of the first people who mentioned that we are not alone.
Yes. Yeah.
And
after his findings with dark matter.
With dark matter and like the 0 point energy and everything, and like how he was able to figure out that he could transmit communication into outer space.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, wait a minute. What? So he was working on things that were so futuristic that when he was presenting them, or when the government found out that what he was working on, and
it seemed really far-fetched.
It seemed far-fetched, but they also knew the significance of what he was working on, and they were like, oh, okay, buddy,
They had to shut it down. And this is also what
We'll take it from here.
this was in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Put that
So over 100 years.
I'm losing it.
So for 100 years.
But even still, it's the 1800s. This
Yeah.
guy was literally throwing power across the street in the 1800s. There
Look
are
at-
places today that do not have running
Power.
water and power.
Yeah. I mean, look, majority of Africa.
Why you gotta bring up Africa like that, man?
I'm just I'm just saying, majority of Africa is one of the places, one of the continents that
Even in the U.S., we have places.
South
that don't-
America is the same, except for like, places that are a little more, advanced, like Buenos Aires, Argentina, and things like that,
Yeah.
but like whatever. But aside from that, like Honduras is really poor. So like, I'm just saying, there's more countries in the South America, or even like look at Middle East right now. There are so many regions in like Iraq or whatever,
Yeah.
Syria and this and that. They have people living in mud homes.
Like I said, there's
They
even
have no
places
electricity
in
and
the
shit.
U.S. that are
Yeah.
that far out of civilization that we just don't have proper power. Some of
Right.
these people like to live off the grid,
Mhm.
but they're even to today's standard in the 20th century,
Mm-hmm.
and we could have power just thrown to them through the mountains.
Mm-hmm. So
Not Asheville.
No more mountains there.
poor Asheville. Nobody talks about Asheville anymore, huh?
People try to, but that got swept under the rug. That's going to be built back in a future city.
I'm telling you. And then so another example of like basically something that would have been great to know, and it would inform people, and we would be a little more well informed and knowledgeable about our past maybe as well, like the archaeological finds.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
One of the places that I saw was Gobekli Tepe, that is in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the Gobekli Tepe thing?
This is what, like an
wanted to-
ancient civilization?
Yeah. So this is like some of the things. So the prehistoric, Neolithic period, and this place is like ancient, and so archaeological findings have basically pointed this towards direction of like, this isn't just like your old some
Mud
houses or whatever, some primitive some primitive type of little building or something or structure, but it's believed to be part of an older, much more advanced civilization, remains of an older, much more advanced civilization. And recently, in the past like couple of years or so, like they were starting, because of the more excavation that they were doing, they were finding new evidence of how far back really it's predated this, and how much like advanced the civilization really was. So the government just came and was like, oh, okay. And the government and like the mainstream like archaeological group organization,
association.
Yeah. So whatever you want to call them, like they basically were like, all right, let's stop it here. No more excavation. And
That's always why they do that. They do that on so many various like dig sites where
Yeah.
we're finding things, or it's like, oh, we're uncovering this, and then you just don't hear any more of it. And like, wait, what happened? That happened in Egypt with like when they were digging up sphinxes and pyramids and like all these things. We just like, why is this knowledge not being told? And these things could tell the way tides of history, and how things portrayed and happened in our past and how we came about. But it's always just like, we're done here.
And like the that whole region,
Mhm.
like we were saying earlier that I forgot that one.
Mesopotamia,
So Mesopotamia,
the
Samaria,
Sumerian.
that whole like area,
cradle of life.
cradle of life, cradle of like civilization. That's where it all like was. And why is it that area has such old archaeological finds, but they're not doing their due diligence to like actually find what was there.
Yeah, and it always seems like they were always a step ahead.
Yeah.
Like those civilizations seem like they had such a skip ahead in life
Yeah.
opposed to like what you see in other areas. Like it was just like knowledge, like hit a meteor hit or something
Right.
of knowledge.
The structures that they had built did not make sense. Like if they were so primitive, how did they build it?
Yeah.
Then?
And then you get to the pyramids and you're just like, oh, these rocks were like 12 tons.
Right.
How are you moving these things?
And then how like the pyramids, coincidentally, they all kind of align, and there's so many of them all around the world, not just Egypt, as like
Oh, you align with like constellations and things like that.
And then
like that's
they,
hard, dog. I can't even mount a picture straight on the wall.
So
and
that's
these people
another
are
thing.
lining up with stars.
And that
Like you really need to think of like take a step back, and my mirror is crooked, and this pyramid is pointing straight to
I'm telling you, bro.
whatever constellation.
There's another site that I was mentioning earlier. That there's this underground city in Turkey, and the way that they have it, I think it's like somewhere in like Cappadocia. I'm not Cappadocia or Docia.
Would never know it on a map.
Okay, well, it's somewhere in Turkey. It's like a city in Turkey, but there's this underground vast like tunnel system and everything, very intricate, with like rooms, like common areas. You can make out like, oh, this is definitely where they cooked, and then this is definitely a bedroom, and this is definitely like a play area or whatever. Like there's so many like different areas, like, but this is all underneath ground, like 100 feet or something like that or more. This is all like underground, intricate, tunnel based, like with stairs and everything. It was so well designed, so well built that it never collapsed in all these years. And it's old, bro. It's ancient. And it's still there. So you can still go to Turkey and you can still get a guide, and that guide will take you there. But it starts to get a little like, if you don't have see if you can find that. There's this underground city in Turkey, like just an image of it or something, and put it up.
You just get lost down
like
there.
if you have like a fear of tight spaces and claustrophobia and stuff, it's not the place for you.
Oh,
It is definitely not the place for you. But they built it in a way where like all these people lived there with no problems, because they had tunnel systems or air shafts.
Oh,
they had
to let
built
you had to let carbon
went up.
dioxide out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That they would get oxygen from like the air and everything. It would go up to the surface. So the way that they built it, it was insane, bro. Oh yeah, this is it. Look, see if you can like just glance over a few pictures. So that's like a huge open area, and it's not obviously the ceilings and everything are not too high.
Oh yeah.
But some areas you're gonna have to like kind of hunchback and crawl or whatever, or not crawl, but like
crawling.
low, put your head down and like walk a little bit. But like some areas are like that, where you just walk in and it's like a vast open area where the ceilings are pretty tall. So
Darren Kuyu.
yeah, the underground city, it's massive. And then I know we were talking about earlier that there's like a place like this that was probably built in the Grand Canyon, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Can't go there though.
right,
Not allowed to see
but
it.
you can't go.
No.
It's insane. So yeah, like, why isn't stuff like this public to people? And then, the other thing, remember that I mentioned the Invention Secrecy Act? That's another thing, bro. So I started thinking about Nikola Tesla's stuff, right? His inventions and everything that he was kind of working on. And then some of the other thing that other people have also worked on. For example, that guy that made a car that, ran on hydrogen, water, and, somehow, he accidentally
Had a heart attack and stroke and fell out of a window.
Yeah, right. And that invention of the car actually running successfully on water disappeared, and we don't have that
Crazy.
technology.
Don't know where it
Wow,
went.
crazy. I don't know.
Another one, carburetor that you would get over 100 miles to the gallon.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, patents out there. Don't know what happened with that. That guy just died. He's
insane.
gone.
So that I would just like what? So it just seems to me like they always try to suppress, or they try to avoid these inventions and technologies and stuff that are going to harm the people in charge and the powers that be. If it goes against anything that they want to do, then they want to suppress it for sure. They're like, okay, this goes against what I'm working on. This goes against my profits.
True. Oh yeah, definitely. When the profits come into scope, it is definitely shut it down. Because like you said,
their agenda. God knows what it is.
Can't have vehicles that have 100 plus miles to the gallon.
Right.
People are never going to go to get gas.
Right. So when I looked into the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951, it all made sense. I was like, okay.
Tesla died in 43.
Right. And then
Secrecy Act a few later.
Right.
Years later.
Let's put every
Yeah.
Just seems to
coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
The other thing is, for a fact, we know after his passing, all of his research and findings was taken by the government.
Yeah.
By the box full. Nothing was left.
Do you remember the tower? The Tesla's tower?
Destroyed.
Dude, I mean,
makes no sense. No, it does it makes great sense.
I mean,
makes perfect sense. When you align everything, it makes perfect sense.
When you start connecting dots, and we love connecting dots.
It makes too much sense. Why would you take something that could revolutionize and make a lot of people's lives just a little bit better, maybe a lot bit better, and all of a sudden, gone?
Because let's be honest.
Why would all of this information for these Tesla coils? It's just you just be like, oh, how do I build one? Good luck.
Because let's be honest. I mean, if they didn't do that, then we would not be dependent on them.
We wouldn't be on a power grid. You wouldn't pay a monthly bill. We would have flying cars. We'd be able to see the future. We'd have already talked to aliens. I'd be on a hoverboard. This is what happens.
I don't know if I want to mention it here, but like quick mention, because aliens and everything. I don't know if you guys heard about the UFO hearing.
A UFO hearing was kind of wild.
It was wild. It was so the UFO hearings, bro. Apparently, like Michael Schellenberger or Berger, whatever his name was. This dude was one of the guys, and they're supposed to be like credible people. There's like 5 of them. They came, testified, and these are all like credible people with credible evidence and everything, and they absolutely said that no, we absolutely 100% have extraterrestrial actual physical bodies within our possession, and also their vehicles. So UFOs we have within our possession, and also we know exactly where they come from, and they didn't say it is limited to outer space, but mainly they wanted to point the direction of where they come from. They said that it come from deep within our own ocean. Deep within our own ocean, they said that they exist, or they have been there. And they said that they have been there. Dude, he said they've been there way before us. And I was like, all right. I don't know what to believe right now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And then, so remember Project Aqua? Do you remember when we mentioned Project Aqua? Do you remember when I told you that the Air Force personnel that encountered a UFO going underwater at like what was it, Mach Jesus? It was going, and the way it like went underwater
was impossible.
It was impossible because it made 0 to no splashes or anything, and the way it was maneuvering underwater and outside above water was so unorthodox that they were like, yo, this is not possible. So now Project Aqua is apparently a thing. So it's real, apparently. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That these aliens or whatever, that we actually have them. And they said that they definitely have technologies that are very, very far advanced. But apparently, because we came in possession of them for a while now, we have been able to reverse engineer, and we have been able to develop technology that we can now down them. And we have more of them in our possession.
That's
and
the
now
last
we
thing
have,
need to do.
yeah, and now we have, apparently they have more of these aircrafts that they have reverse engineered, and they have built their own, modeled their own after it. Now it's called UAPs, right?
Yeah.
And so taking
Right here,
that,
sending the Jetsons over.
bro, I'm telling you. So he said, and the US is not the only one that has this. Apparently, a shit ton of other countries, including Russia, China, Japan, and all of the other major countries.
Japan would
they,
have them.
They
got them
they said
Gundams.
that a lot of other nations also have it. Also have these alien bodies as well. They have possessions of them. They have their aircrafts in possession of them. They know where they are as well. The same discoveries that we did, that they have it as well. And that apparently it made sense. I mean, it somewhat made sense to me that I was like, okay, so this is probably why we haven't been able to wait. Because I was like, why are we still sending ground troops and like these tanks and this and that? If we have like freaking alien technology, how are we not blowing people up with like lasers and this and that? Futuristic, wiping entire continents off the face of the. Because that's kind of the technology that they possess, or whatever, like teleportation type of shit,
Yeah.
And I was like, so if we have that kind of advanced technology, how are we still fighting with like guns and stuff? How are we not fighting with like Star Wars, pew pews?
Blasters.
Yeah, pew pews and shit,
That they were lightsabers.
But it made sense that why we're not fighting in that capacity or in that battles or whatever you want
I
to
think that
call
would be
it.
the end all to be all.
Because so when he said other nations have it, that made sense to me, because I was, oh, okay, so you can't fire a blaster without getting hit back with a blaster, so you're holding off and
Can't
not
use the
doing-
ray gun.
Okay, got it. I was like, all right, got it.
Now
That
here-
made sense, because also it was the other thing that they mentioned. The reason why they haven't disclosed, or the public doesn't know about this, or hasn't seen these technologies, and is because they are worried about public not being able to handle this, and also the panic that it's going to cause. But then I was like, well, why the hell are you even mentioning it now?
So my whole
You don't
take,
think the public is going to be concerned now, or do you?
well, the crazy thing is they're not. We're so over the years, since like the late 60s, UFOs have always been a sighting and told that they were not real, and that is not true. But there's always been a group of people who have seen these sightings. Roswell, one of the biggest probably on the globe, but definitely for the U.S., the Roswell sighting, and various other military findings, sightings, discoveries that have been put under wraps. People found out. People always talk. They're people. And so they knew that. But it trickled out slow enough to where it took like 50 plus years, over 50 years, for it to get to this point of escalation. And now we're in a time and day to where it's almost impossible to hide that sort of thing, right? Because cell phones and CCTVs, cameras are on every corner. But now what they can do is we have the sort of technology to dupe it. We have holograms, we have drones, we have various other aircrafts.
Fake it. Got it.
Fake it. Now, by the 20th century, they could fake these things. And so, like, when people are like, oh my God, it's a UFO. Bro, it was just an airplane. Oh my God, it's a UFO. It's a drone show. It's a hologram. It's AI-created video.
Right.
There's so much misinformation that it's hard to weed through what is actually real. And now you have government officials who just came out in front of the world and said, we got them, we use them, we fly them, we're the Jetsons, get over it. And people are just like, is that going to pay my rent?
Right.
I don't care. And that was the thing, that the major consensus was, I got too much going on. I don't care if are aliens going to pay my rent? And that's just a thing. But, what's going to come forth of that? You know, what's going to be the next step? And
the fake alien invention that we mentioned like a few episodes ago, when I saw this UFO hearing, I was like, wait a minute. It's kind of like weird timing, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, so is this maybe another one of those, what do you call it?
Precursors?
Precursors, foreshadowing, and
Distraction? Distraction?
distraction, or what's the other term that I'm looking for? Predictive programming.
Oh, yeah, for the alien invasion that could potentially have. And I mean, granted, look, if that sort
Or
of
are
thing
they trying to like get us used to this type of information, and then once they actually start flying it around, so it's not something that we're so surprised about anymore.
We're about to be like that Star Wars bar where the Cantina band's playing. Listen, buddy, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Just give me a beer, all right? Be like
Fries
that
in the bag.
with the fries in the bag, goopy. And there's like, what's that guy that where Anakin was like a young kid and he had like little wings but he could fly and he had a big trunk nose?
Oh, I don't remember the
Be
name,
like that.
but
He'd
like
be
I
like,
know
yo,
what you're
put the
talking
fries in
about.
the bag. He'd be like, he just floats away. Maybe these alien people aren't really harmful. I mean, you got to think about it. If they had the advancement technology that they do, they could just be like, come up out that water.
Well, one other.
All I'm telling, let me real quick. If they come to Earth, if they come to surface, and they're like, look, we have like these powers of like super. I'm done. See you guys. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. If these motherfuckers come out and they say we could replicate superhumans, see you. See you. See you later. Super Saiyan 3. Here I come.
I don't know. I mean,
You about to feel the earth shatter, baby.
I'm not
That's it. I'm done. I don't know.
Underwater,
nobody.
just boiling. Water's
I'm
boiling.
telling you. Call me the Leviathan, because I'm coming out that stuff a different person.
Call me a Cthulhu.
I'm ancient being at this point. They will have legend to me. I don't know anybody on Earth anymore. Family, friends. I'm sorry. You got to understand.
You know, someone else said, well, what if this was like speculation. What if they are just humans, but
I heard this. Yeah,
advanced, like an advanced civilization human
from like the future.
From like the future.
Yeah.
Like one of the advanced. So, for example, like I think it was like the time period. You know that great ice age that happened like 12,000 years ago or something like that. Remember that I was mentioning that to you guys?
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
like something like that. So like a cataclysmic type of event that happened, like wipe civilization, put an end to it and everything. What if it was that, well, like the Atlantis or whatever, is believed to be like the civilization was so far advanced and this and that, right? What if there was something like that where it was like ancient humans that it had advanced civilizations to the point where they were able to go, travel, space and everything, and they found another Earth or something like that, right? Or
we came from Mars. There's so many possibilities. It's actually wild.
Yeah, but they're just humans who knew maybe about like, hey, we're about to have like a shit ton of like comets hit Earth or something like that, because they had the technology and they forced out. Yeah, and they were like, okay, we have the technology. Yeah, we have the technology. Let's go underwater, and so that's why some of these people are like, what if they're just humans from
the future,
from
and
the
it just
future,
time
and they're
changed.
advanced.
They're
Yeah,
underwater. They have different pressurized systems. Another thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of came with like some other thoughts and everything like this. Do you remember the movie Interstellar?
Yep.
Okay, you remember how when he leaves and he goes so fast because they left Earth, but because of the speed at which he was traveling, time was slowed down for him.
Yeah.
Because he went so fast to go, and they say like
1 hour over there was like 10 years or something like that.
Right. So if an ancient civilization figured out how to leave our atmosphere at enough velocity, if we left the galaxy,
right,
and these people came back, this could be that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because it would be thousands of years.
Yep.
If we were to leave the galaxy and come back, it would be so long. So what if this was an ancient civilization
Mm-hmm.
that left Earth or Mars,
Mm-hmm.
ventured,
Mm-hmm.
came back? That the time frame would be so little for them, but
Right.
this would be, it would be our entire existence now. So now if they're returning, this would just be it. And they lived in the ocean prior.
Right.
And this is just
if they've been gone
right.
for say like
Every time we see
year.
one come back, they've been gone. They went to the store. They're getting groceries off Namtar 5 and they're coming back and now their kids are gone.
Yo, that's bad. Imagine.
I went to go get the milk. My family's gone.
You know, coincidentally, I saw an article that talked about scientists have discovered the sixth ocean. Is it the sixth? Yeah, I think it's the sixth
Oh,
ocean.
yeah, it's supposed to be
deep
beneath.
underneath.
Yeah, I've heard
It's like
about
in
that.
the Earth's mantle or something like that. Deep underneath, they said there's enough water there that it is definitely considered to be the sixth ocean. And I was like,
we out
or
here
sixth or
talking about,
seventh
oh,
ocean,
can't
whatever.
waste water.
Right. And
I'm
I
running
was
the
like,
water all day today. I left your sink on, actually.
You know what?
We got enough.
Shit, we got to pay the bills going to come high as fuck.
Why is the water bill so goddamn high?
So
Yeah,
like,
no, I heard about that. And so that's what a lot of people are saying, that they're
Mhm.
residing within that sixth ocean that's so deep within the Earth. Because,
Yeah.
you know, to all of our understanding, it's, you know, the crust, the Earth, and then you have like the mantle, which is like thousands of feet deep, and then you have which gets to the core.
right.
But now they're saying there's like another ocean somewhere
Somewhere deep beneath the surface
that's bigger
of the
than
ocean.
all the other oceans combined.
Yep.
And our surface is 70% water.
Yeah.
So
imagine.
how much water is in the Earth?
Yeah.
That's crazy amount of water, dude.
So
Like,
imagine if these people are actually living there. They actually have a surface, and then they actually have their own ocean, just like that, deep beneath our own, and we don't even freaking know.
my mind can't wrap around how that
I
would
don't
work.
even know, but how?
I'm trying to do like sphere. So if they
The
make a
only
left
thing, the
and
only
they turn
thing,
right.
the only thing that kind of like doesn't make sense to me, or I wouldn't want to know how it would make sense, is the fact that like oxygen. How do you have oxygen down there? That's
I mean, it
the
could,
only
if
thing.
they had if it wasn't all just water, and there was like other, I'm pretty sure, I mean, there could be other elements down there that produce oxygen from whatever biome they're in. But if they have normal plant life, maybe well, how do they get sunlight?
So here's the thing.
Oh, damn.
So here's the thing. So I saw another theory, and I saw this, and I was like, holy shit, this actually might make sense, because there's so many like ancient and like theoretical and made up sort of like fantasies and stuff about like mermans and mermaids and stuff, you know, and they're like so many like sea people, sea voyagers, and, you know, captains and this and that, whatever, you know, that they in the ocean, they have seen they have said that there has been sightings of like you know, sirens and mermaids and mermans and whatever, and they were like, what if these people or these aliens that they're thinking that they're deep under the ocean, right? What if, because of their environment, if they were human, because of their environment,
They would be able to.
for so freaking long, for so many years that they have dwelled there, their like biological features actually changed, and maybe they're now like the mermans and mermaids and whatever.
They got them webbed feet.
Yeah, and what if Atlantis actually exists deep under ocean like that for them? You know, like what if they have like a
Atlantis 2.0.
yeah, what if they have like a giant freaking you know, advanced civilization down there, and they got all these. I don't know if you saw Aquaman. Did you see Aquaman? Aquaman kind of like put it into a little bit of a perspective. Like they get these ideas from somewhere. They get these ideas from somewhere, like some form of, like, they don't just like dream this shit. I don't know, but like, I don't know, maybe, but it's So when I saw that, I was like, well, it kind of makes sense, I guess, if they're deep underneath and they've been there for so long. Maybe, yeah, sure, their features change and they look more like, fish people or some shit. And sometimes if we have sightings of them, maybe that's who they are. That's what they are.
Tall, gray,
I don't know.
cylindric,
Yeah, maybe.
big eyes, so they
And
can see.
they got
Maybe
their
it's
own
dark
like
down there.
yeah, and they got their own like weird aircraft that kind of works for them and their finger touching shits and that. I don't know. And then because they are so they're underneath the ocean and it's so dark down there and everything. You know how their eyes get bigger and they're and it's dark. And the aliens that your typical aliens, they got the big ass eyes and it's always like big dark eyes.
Yeah, it's to pick up whatever light is there.
Yeah,
The bigger the eyes, and to pick up little.
So
Little bit of
like
light.
what if it's that? What if that's the type of biological kind of
Hey, I
bodies
mean,
that
it's
they're finding?
possible. Then they would be able to withstand such pressures. Because you're so deep. The ocean pressure is like so immensely strong. So you'd
Right.
imagine the sixth ocean being underneath everything else would
What if
have to be under such amount of pressure.
But what if the pressure is different over there? We don't know. We've
yeah,
never,
true.
we've
no
never
idea.
been there.
No
I
idea.
don't know.
We just know the pressure from the bottom of our oceans is like immense.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe
What
they
if
go-
there's like a barrier? Boom, you hit that barrier, and then after that,
pressure
there's, like,
resets?
pressure is
It's
like
a reset zone.
yeah, it's like a relaxation zone. I don't know.
The Earth is separated. We're two different cores. We're getting deep. We're like what's that guy that went on Joe Rogan? Howard.
Howard Stern.
No. The black dude. What's his name? Howard.
Oh, Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. I'm out here making new shapes and shit like that.
The tetra.
There's a tetrahedron up in the middle of the Earth. That's another Earth rotating around with this spherical water.
I'm telling you, that dude was. I don't know. He went on.
He started cooking, and then all of a sudden he burnt everything.
He did. He started making 0 sense after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
The main point
Well-
is information is always being withheld, and it doesn't make sense. And I understand at a point, too much information will scare.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to go look around the Grand Canyon and I can't, that raises suspicion, and it should for everyone.
Yeah.
If I want to be able to look up, what's going on with Nikola Tesla,
Mhm.
and I can't, that raises suspicion. When it's like at the times where information that has no reason to be as a national security, right? Like I understand, okay, I shouldn't know where we hide nukes. I shouldn't know at what depth a submarine can go to, where the submarine's at where. Okay, great. Why can't I go to the bottom of the Grand Canyon
And just explore.
and walk around? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's the sort of thing. That's the sort of information that is like that should pique the general population's interest of why it's being sheltered.
Mm-hmm.
Excavation sites being shut down, information of excavation sites continuing but not public.
And then it's annoying when they don't give you any type of like explanation or anything. They just tell you, you're not supposed to be here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Sir, but I'm get out of here.
Yeah, this is
Get
a
outta here.
restricted area.
Like, okay, what are you doing here if it's restricted?
I pay
Is
my
it-
taxes.
Like, are you doing something harmful here? Should I tell other people to leave in the area? Like,
Right.
So I don't know.
Goddamn El Chupacabra down in them dang pathways under the Grand Canyon, he gonna get you.
I'm telling you.
Listen, let me be the first. He gonna catch his hands one good time. I'm telling you. I might not do much, but I'm
The
telling you
Super
what,
Saiyan go.
I'm gonna give it my all. You can hear me screaming at that moment. Be like Kevin, a cold shower. Them hallways gonna be ringing for a minute. You can hear me through the
all the vast emptiness, and you just hear Kev. Was that Kev? All right, man. That's about all I had for today. Anything else you want to impart?
No, not really. I mean, that was pretty informative. If you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to that channel.
Go over to our Spotify channel, leave us a like, and follow us on Spotify for a great commute listen if you don't want to see the video. Actually, we post videos on Spotify as well, so either or works. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you.